people would understand they were coming to
Yeah.
sit at a salon and enjoy at a salon. Oh, hello, hello. Hello, lovely to see you. I'm so glad you're all here. Wow. Hi, Bev. I promise to speak slowly. I've been practicing. It's so hard for me. It's because I'm an excitable puppy and I love all this information, right? I can't believe it. It's so good. Well, we're having our third water salon, hosted by the World Water Community, and Dr. Everin Vanderkrans is here hosting this water salon. This will be our third one. Every time it's the same. It's a greeting, hello, and a chance to find out the latest thinking on water in a virtual salon room together, so we get to meet each other. And that is really important. I think the World Water Community and the Hydration Foundation has been concerned that we're not collecting enough of us together to know who's on the map and who's doing what, so that we can begin to launch new water information into our very needy world. So that is the basic, the raison d'etre for why Dr. Vanderkratz and I came together to do this water salon project. So we have a brief introduction. We have some new ideas presented for about 20 minutes. That's my job. I have to get out there and collect all the new information. And then after that, we have a discussion time where people can kick in their responses or their ideas about what they've heard in this room. And also, again, where we meet each other. So don't be afraid to look who's here and chat to them. That's why we're doing this. So you can send them a message over chat, meet each other. And, if they don't reply, that's their problem, not yours. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to be rejected, because how else are we going to get anything done? So use this time to meet each other. That's part of what we are doing. It's so cool. If you see someone and they're doing this kind of work and you see they should know somebody over there, put it in the chat. Take the initiative. What the heck? All that can happen is magic. And if someone isn't interested or they're too busy, fine. That's fine. We don't mind all that. So Everin, any comment you want to make while we've got an open mic for you? Just about the World Water Community, how people can find you.
Well, yeah, the water community is there still for everybody. They can join the platform. It's free. We can continue discussions there, share information. So welcome to join. We're, have big dreams, so we can only do that together. Please join. And if you want to show yourself, just practically, you can click on the video camera on the bottom of your screen so we can see everybody. That would be really nice. And Gina, just looking forward.
Yes. Well, our topic today is water inside of you. And so my job, well, first I should tell you what a salon is. So we just remind each other, in the lineage of salons and salonistes, which you become when you come here, it's a reception room. The tradition was to have a reception room where people who were traveling would come to town and they'd bring new ideas and present those ideas for the advancement of the new and new thinking. And then it was a room where you would walk around and meet people you didn't know before. So again, we're just joining the idea of a salon to water science and water information, because it's kind of a more fun way to learn about water and also to establish a place for people to go and meet each other. And of course, we do record these. So you're welcome to go back and cover any topic that we've done before. We've done one on sound. That was last week. and other one. I forgot what was our first one, Everett. I've already forgotten something. Well, you can go back and look on YouTube, and the links are the replays are there. So, but this salon, the topic is water inside your body, and we promise to touch just a bit on consciousness. And at the end, so to lay out why consciousness and water could be related will be the goal of my 20-minute share here. So the way I thought I would start this topic is just to simply list for you how many systems in your body run on water. Because I don't think we're alert to water in the body, except maybe the conversation on, hydration and irrigation. But I just wanted to break up the systems, make a list of them, so you get a sense of how wild this is, how much we are made of water, and what systems run. So I want to start with the brain, which is 80% water. And the new idea around brain and the water is the discovery of the glial cells inside the brain, which for a long time, people at night couldn't understand why the cells in the brain would shrink and get smaller and smaller, and no one could figure out what were they doing shrinking. Is that a problem? What should we be looking at? It wasn't until we had the breakthrough research on past neuroplasticity to understand that this pathway in between, the cells were shrinking to open up the hydration channels so that water could come through your brain at night, only at night. These are all circadian-based strategies to clean out toxicity in the brain. So your brain hydration system, not only is your brain made of 80% water, but the actual cleansing of the brain relies on the hydration system working at night by virtue of this closure or tensing of the water cell, the brain cells, to make pathways for water to run through. So that is a very interesting hydration system. Then we have to talk about blood, which basically is just red water. I mean, it's got some other things in it to tint it, but really, if we think about our circulation system, and we understand that that red water running through is carrying electrical charge and touching the vessels which have electrical charge, then we get this idea of the delivery of the blood cells through the entire system based on not just the flow of water, but the flow is made possible because of the repulsion and magnetism of the vessels lining the entire blood cell system. So again, a whole nother system separate from the brain that all runs on hydration and water. Then we have the lymph system, which is a water system designed to carry out our waste and clean up our waste as it moves through the body. It's completely separate from the circulation system. So if you start to think about what all this weighs in terms of mass and volume and the role of water in all of this, you start to really get a sense of our weightiness has a lot to do with the level of the volume of water and hydration in us. Then there's the lungs, which is a tissue system which is also 80% water and so delicate in its cilia that can really only be washed by the vapor that goes through the whole system. So if you imagine now inhaling as a form of hydration, because you are sucking in the vapor in the air as well, now you have another major system in the body that's using water to actually run what it does. To make its function. Then let's see. Let's just talk about the spinal canal. Forget the brain. Let's just talk about the spinal canal. Is a clue word, right? It's a big clue word. Well, the spinal canal, of course, runs at that point, it's the juncture of the entire nervous system. So it's the synovial fluid in the spinal canal that actually conducts the electrical function of the entire nervous system. Plus, by the way, cleans it up, right? So now you have another major system, your nervous system, relating to the role of water inside of us. So all I'm trying to do is like click for you, like check, 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 check. There isn't anything that that runs within our own bodies that isn't a function because of the water inside of us. Then I wanted to talk about your eye, which is one of my favorite, because your ocular socket is a synovial fluid device spot. Let's see, I'm making sure I'm going over my 20 minutes here. No, I have plenty of time. That the precision of your sight depends on how much fluid is filling your eye socket. It's actually the way, the amount of perception, the amount of color and clarity that you are able to take in is dependent on how well formed and the synovial fluid is and how much you have in there, so that your eye is a precision instrument. And of course, when it loses hydration, it begins to crumple up and it pucker up, and you don't have the same visual acuity. So I don't know if anyone's ever brought up the idea that your eyesight depends on your hydration, but it's a really great little fact to have in your pocket. Next, I want to go to the ear, which has a canal in it. Another one of those anatomical designations, which gives us a clue to begin to really think. But again, the cilia in your ear is constantly bathed in fluid, which allows them to precisely vibrate to pick up the sound that comes in to us. If we didn't have that cilia being bathed, and it's like almost like octopus legs, if they weren't floating the way they were, they would not be the sensitive instrument that would be able to pick up all of the vibrations that are coming in through your ear. So the fact that your ear is a hydration chamber that allows you to hear is, again, a new way to have the conversation around how much there is water inside of you. Then I wanted to get, of course, to connective tissue and fascia, but I have a visual for you for that. So I'm going to wait a second and get you to the idea that your DNA is a hydration system. We talked a bit about this in our last salon, because beautiful new work coming out of Cornell shows that the DNA spiral has an interior spine of hydration that allows the DNA to fold and unfold to do its work. So again, you see, even our DNA depends on the water inside of us to do its reproductive work, to do its communicative work. Because if it doesn't have that spine of hydration, it puckers or folds, and then it misfunctions. So now, in a way, this is one way to think about why we have so many chronic illnesses, because these are all systems, every one of them, that can go wrong if we don't have enough hydration or the kind of hydration. And please don't think I'm trying to tell you to guzzle more water, because that isn't really the solution. The solution is what kind of water and how we absorb it. So we can have a little bit of a conversation at the end of this salon, so we can make sure we cover practical things as well. So I also wanted to just alert you to the role of water in cell division. The very fact that a cell can divide depends on the amount of surrounding water for each one of those cells to move into. So if they don't have the packet of water, the amniotic fluid around them, they're not able to make an adequate cell division. So even cell division, when you look at cell division, if you've ever looked at mitosis under the microscope, and there's plenty of things on YouTube, and you should, because it's delicious to look at, you'll see that why isn't it mentioned that that's all dependent on hydration. If you don't watch the water around it, it's not going to happen. And then cell communication. Water really is the medium on which the electricity and the signaling is sent back and forth to each of the cells. So if you don't have enough hydration, your cellular communication is more garbled and more chaotic and less clear and functional. So again, this is a way to think about how we age, how we're going into our our bodies at each decade. Really, it really counts how we carry our hydration through to each one of these stages as the body is going through all these changes. Of course, it's going to do it much more gracefully and beautifully and easily if we have hydration, adequate hydration. And oh, I forgot about joints. Every one of your joints is dependent on the synovial fluid, which holds the bone in place. The real mobility comes not from the bones; it comes from the synovial fluid in between the bones that allows you to have beautiful motion and movement. So that is those. Wow, those are a lot of systems. And now I want to have time to get to the fascia video. So uh, as we know, one picture or one video is worth 1,000 words. So the system I skipped, the fascial system, I'd like to return to now because we have a video we would love to show you. Many of you may have seen this already, but I'll tell you, I've never stopped being amazed by looking at it. This is just a 2-minute clip of the connective tissue system in the body. So all these systems that I've talked about are encased and shot through with this system, the fascia system, which we have only really been studying for less than 20 years, and making a case for the fact that this is the real irrigation system in the body. It was the hidden one we didn't know about for so long, but it brought to the fore the relationship of water inside of us to how our systems work. So I'd love for you to see it. And then when we close that film, I'd love to open the floor to have you respond to the film, to tell us what you saw or what magic it may have brought to you, or any other thoughts that may have come up in this little précis that we've gone over all these systems in the body. So Efren, yeah, can you show us this film? This is a film by a hand surgeon who had the idea to stick a camera during. So you have a chance to see what he saw for the first time. Again, this is a film from, oh, I'm not sure. Is it the late 90s, early 2000s? I should know this. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We have our first fascia look of what water looks like inside your body. For the first time, we had this visual to actually see what it looks like inside of us. Not just our blood, not just our brains and our lungs, but everything else. You can actually see the water running through the veins. That's inside of you. Oh, Everin, are we having to slow down? You know, it's okay because once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? Once you see that all that spider web tissue is absolutely completely through everything about you, you can't unsee it. You start to think of yourself differently. You start to think of your mobility differently. You start to think of your communication inside with this system that's got its little spider webs into every tiny bit of you. They even have identified that the fascia actually goes right to the cell membrane. It's that delicate and it shoots right in. So we know it's our inner internet. But I'd like to invite people to respond. Yeah. Candace, hello. Oh, I think you're muted. There,
Can
we
you hear
can
me
hear
now?
you. Yes, we can.
I've unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, good.
delightfully.
Okay. You're going to hear my washing machine then too. Sorry.
Oh, perfect. Some hydration.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for bringing this information forward. It's just delightful to put these pieces together because there's just so much truth in this. I can hardly stand it. So I'd like to talk about, so with the water playing such an important role in everything that's going on, can we connect the research on water having memory, or an intelligence? So let's talk about the intelligence first. So would we say then that the intelligence that is being talked about is what the water is bringing to those processes? That there's signals in the water for how the systems should function, or is it from? I mean, I'm just putting that out because I never thought of it being so free flowing in the fascia, in the actual drops of water. That's really quite amazing. So that's one question. And then the other question is, with the intake of the water, so it seems that the easy water is what you really want to be getting in. So cucumbers, fruits, vegetables, those kind of things where it's in the gel form, the easy water form. But what about when you take in water? I mean, they've said that water through taps is water through the water system is not energized. How do we sort that idea out? That the water that we really want to have, how does it remain distinct from the water that we don't want to have? So those are my questions.
Would anyone like to respond to that? This is a salon after all. Yes. Your name says Rebecca, but I bet, yes. How do you do, Rebecca?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm sure you know a lot more than this, but I just wanted to sort of like react and say, talk to your water.
Yes.
That tap water, this poor tap water that's been closed up and slowed down. Like, talk to it, They do that all the time. I just talk to the water because it is a living, I would say it's living, so you can wake it up. Yeah, that's all.
I love the poster behind you, Rebecca says, yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm doing the Bates method. I love that you mentioned the eyes, because I'm healing my myopia with the Bates method. So this is like part of the
Awesome.
practice. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
I think you might be a mother as well. Could that be true?
Oh, yeah. She came in here. It's evening. It's evening in Israel. So
okay. Lovely. Well, that whole process of pregnancy, I didn't even mention, or nursing, for God's sakes. Talk about hydration systems.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes. Anyone else would like to respond?
I could. I could
Yes,
respond.
please.
Mhm.
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you.
So for me, water is consciousness. It is the light source that transmits the information. That's why all memory is in the waters. From the very beginning, when water was one, it's almost as if it was consciousness in the void entering into the waters. That was the sound that called forth the light, the sonoluminescence. And then when the waters divided, consciousness spread everywhere. This is why water is the unifier of all beings, even in the cosmos. And so, what I'm very honored to where I'm at, and why I'm opening up a water sanctuary in my location is because where I live, the mountains are crystalline structured, which means they're piezoelectric. And when you go into these waters, this is how the miracle of water occurs and why all miracles occur through the waters, as does time travel and all healing. And it's always in the eternity of now. And so uh water is the original language, which is a feeling language that came before the sound and the light. And it's telepathy and how we feel each other's energy, and why authenticity is the highest vibration above even love and joy and enthusiasm. And so when we transmit this authenticity energy, which comes from a higher frequency than love, into the waters, the harmonizing of the waters occurs. I'm going to finish with something that might be hard to hear, but I believe these sisters are capable and will be a part of the flow of how consciousness needs to go. But yes, we do need to stay away from tap water. It stands for to add poison. It is the weapon that they're using against us. And if people don't want to look at that or see it or be truth around that, that will be your poison. And there's nothing we can do for those who do not want to know the source of their water. It's knowing the source of your water, connection to Creator, that allows us to communicate at a cellular level with all beings. And I'm going to pause with that. But the beautiful thing is harmony, harmonization always goes to the higher frequencies. This is how we pull the planet into the higher frequencies of love and above. And it's through the music in our bodies of water when we sing the same song that will help us flow into that direction. I love you all very, very much. Talk to your water. It's a feeling language. And that's what we teach at our sanctuary, is how to experience the language of water. And so, yeah, in the water will talk back. Yay.
Would anyone like to respond or have their own comment?
Hi,
Yeah,
everyone.
Maria, hello. We haven't heard
Hi.
from you. Hello.
Yes, I'm here since the beginning, since the first water salon. And it's amazing. Thank you very
Welcome.
much, Gina and
Welcome.
Evelyn.
Yes.
And I remember a little bit about Vida Austin work about the tap water and the spring water, for example. And even though we can't change the chemicals inside the water, when you put the intention or love or peace or something and crystallize this water, it changes and it's more harmonic and it's beautiful. It's going step by step. So sometimes you don't have any other source of water to take a really good water without any chemicals or so, but you can interact and you put your intention and things like that. So I think it always have a way that, yes, I agree that we have to be away from tap water if we can, but sometimes we can't. So we have to have other ways to do it, right? And it's very interesting what you said, Gina, about all these systems inside of us that runs on water and hydration. And it got my attention, the glial cells, because I do the craniosacral work, and I've done a recently course about specifically the drainage of toxicity and glial cells inside brain. And it's so important to drain it every night and do it inside brain and in your body. So thank you so much for being here every month with a new subject about water.
Anybody else? Candace, I think you wanted to say something. Oh, we're having trouble hearing you. Try again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So we're definitely getting into the consciousness of water here. I really appreciate the comments. I think it was Kimberly. I don't think I see Kimberly now, but thank you, Kimberly. That was fascinating and interesting. So is that Kimberly waving? No? No. Okay. I can't see. Oh, okay. I'll have to go. Anyway, so, oh my goodness. The water in me gets excited when you talk about this. I have to say, it really does. Yeah, I can hardly stand it. Oh, yeah. So when we talk about harmony, then it just so happens that I spend a lot of my time singing and playing music. So this is also the connection to the water, the vibrations the vibrations that are being brought by the singing and the music is somehow also restoring the water. She said that harmonization goes to higher frequencies. And I thought that was very interesting. So, I mean, I'm just processing this at the moment. Mm-hmm. I really can't say anything more that might sound intelligent because I'm too excited.
Well, your intelligence is already in your water, right? You have to be with you. I love it. I will say that I forgot what I was going to say. Somebody else say something. Yes, Bev, please.
I'm just going to put in here just thoughts that are coming up now. Fascia I've known about for quite a while because it was so important to me. I think because no one understood what was going on in my body, I didn't understand. When I learned about fascia, then I'm able to support myself in ways by using properly electrolyzed water to not be fainting and passing out and having migraines, etc. from childhood. So that was a great, I don't know what to call it, like understanding another organ that nobody understands, and doctors still don't get it.
Right.
So I'm very thankful for that, and I have a lot of gratitude for that. The other thought that comes to mind is in mystical Jewish tradition, Kabbalah, you know, it's the tree of life in our body, the parallels of energy. Well, that energy will only work in our body because of water. And for me, it's like this revelation of, oh, that's why it all works at that level, which is very beautiful. And the other thing that comes to mind that came up in a Sangha last week was row, row, row your boat. It's very spiritual that we are traveling on water. If you I found a person, I'll try and find it to put in the link, of someone that actually talks about the spiritual level of it. So I just wanted to connect those things.
I love that, Bev. And please, again, the purpose of the salons are to meet each other, to advance this knowledge. The fact that you have said this, it's on a replay, physicians can hear this. We need to be talking. We need to be sharing. We need to be spreading this. So thank you so much, and for your own amazing, miraculous recovery. It's so important that we share these story. We share our boats, right? Our little story in our boat and how we got gently down the sea. I love it. I wanted to touch on consciousness, not too early, but at this point, I think it's good to bring my thinking around presenting functional body parts to the topic of consciousness, because it's such a vague concept and it's all over the place and everybody's saying all sorts of things. And all of that is, again, let's get a conversation going. It's part of the song we're all trying to sing right now. But for me, I think it's great to connect the functionality of all our systems, because I love to start the conversation on consciousness with the idea of perception. And then that's why I really mentioned the eye, because our perception, it's the one organ we can really say, well, of course the brain is too. And then you start talking about everything else, your skin and how it perceives, and your sense of space, where you are in space and time. Every one of these is, they're collecting precision in their function for a reason, because that precision, that perception, the finer our perception is, the more we can receive, basically. The more information that comes in isn't static or lost. We get it. We just get it. So for me, it's a really valuable thing to lay out all the physical places in our body to get people to the consciousness conversation through the concept of perception. And Everin and I were just talking about one of my favorite philosophers, Simone Weil, who talked about attention being the most generous, the rarest form of generosity. So I think I love the quote that it's our attention which allows us then to have riches to give. So even our attention to a flower and our perception of it, our ability to look at it, to take it apart, to look at the color of the petals and to receive how truly magenta they are, or contrasted with the yellow interior, or the bee that comes and the vibration that you're watching on the flower happen. And all that is crazy miraculous. And that we get to perceive that more profoundly when we're well hydrated. And that's where consciousness, I think, is it's one ladder into the conversation on consciousness. Any reactions or thoughts? We have 2 or 3 minutes before I want to take us to our practice. Okay, well, I've got a crazy practice for us. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I couldn't help myself, because I'm trying to connect our bodies and the water in our bodies to the materiality of water. And I couldn't think of a better, I wanted to sort of look at cells, and I wanted a visual. What's a really good cell I can show you that also visualizes what the water inside your body looks like, to help us have that fluidity and so forth. So I have a cup, a clear cup, so you can see what's going on. And I brought an egg. Because what could be a better example of a cell, a single cell, than a simple egg, right? And I wanted to be with you and crack open this egg So we could really like get that this is what this stuff looks like inside. It's just the same old thing that we've seen in a million times when we crack an egg and we see this. Let me see if I can get some more out of there. There's the yolk, and that would be like the cell center. But oh my gosh, I mean, this is what it looks like inside. We're so used to thinking of it as liquid that this is just the best way, I think, to help us understand, one, how fluid we are, how crazy the water is inside of us, right? And that it's able to move in every possible direction. And then, well, now that I've got my fingers all sticky, I just don't want you. So the practice is, I just don't want you to ever be with an egg again without enjoying that it's a perfect universe, a perfect picture of a cell, that it represents like what it all like. So I just got a bunch of eggs because I wanted you to picture that we're just full of little cell eggs. That's what our cells look like. And that when you're with an egg, you have sort of a really joyous appreciation and attention to the water inside our bodies. So, I'm collecting ideas for the next salon. Does anyone have a particular topic, Bev?
Actually, I want to speak to synchronicity.
Okay.
As you cracked that egg and broke it open, I have crows that come every day. There's a reason that they come, but I won't go into that. They showed up, 3 of them. They're waiting for their omelet. I make them an omelet every day. And I'm just going to leave now to do that. Thank you for the egg demonstration.
Oh, that makes me so happy, Bev. What a thrill. You know, they have facial recognition. They've documented that crows see our faces and know who we are. So I love that. Okay. Any particular requests? If not, I'm sure we can come up with something because the science is coming in fast and heavy. Yes, Rebecca.
You hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to learn and talk about a little bit more how to structure water without all the fancy schmancy stuff, if possible. I heard Andy Kaufman talk about that you could just take a branch and put it in a cup of water, and actually now that's structured water in there. I mean, I know it's not the gel, not the easy water, but that you actually change the quality of that water by doing that. So that would be lovely. Maybe we could share, maybe you have some ideas what you could do.
Yes, in fact, Rebecca, I learned today from Dr. Vandekratz that Andy Kaufman just did an interview with Gerald Pollack. I don't know if it's been posted yet. Everett, it has, right? Oh. So there's a conversation you'll want to listen into. That's a reason to come to the salon, to know where else to go to learn things. And yes, I think that nature is busy structuring water all over the place to lesser or more degrees. And of course, in our kind of competitive culture that we live in, we always think it's the biggest, strongest, best. We don't trust this row your boat gently. Lots of different ways to structure water, a million ways into the conversation on that. So yeah, we're happy to do that.
I don't know if this is the right form, well, like if people will be able to, but maybe sometime talk about UT, maybe also bring that up, your own water,
Yeah. Well, my work as an anthropologist was to look at how people were hydrating and how they were structuring their water, not only in what foods they were eating that had highly structured water, like dates or chia seeds, but which have both been tested now to actually be structured water, but also in the ground, in mycelium. We could talk about how important for agriculture this new science is, and so forth. Yes. So, okay, well, we'll take that under advisement, and please invite your friends. And we love doing this because look what happens. we get to share it and find out more. And that allows us to end on time and wish each other high waters. Go sing Row, Row, Row the Boat next time. See you soon. We'll send out the invite. Bye, friends. Well, Everin, we are